कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative. I feel the disclaimer is held for too long. The whole idea of a disclaimer is that you can't really read it. It should be there for 3 seconds. It's like mutual funds are subject to market risk, and then it should just disappear. Anyway, I'll talk to legal little later in the program. First, let me just make sure that my head fits the frame properly, which I should have done in the 15 minutes preceding this. But I want to bring up a question with our audience, or rather with our panel, which is coming on in a second. And that is, when is the exact time to disconnect the line? When you call someone, what is the accepted conventional etiquette in terms of how many rings? Now, for example, I would think that after the fourth or fifth ring maximum, you disengage the phone. So that means the person is not interested. Because most people have a mobile phone, and 90% of the time it's close by or on their person or in their pocket. So I think maybe with some ladies that you know who use handbags and take a longer time, or men who have certain sort of equipment, or keep it in certain places that you know of, then you can give a little leeway for that. But otherwise, 4 to 5 rings. I think that way we'll not hear these sounds all the time of phones ringing and ringing and ringing. Don't wait forever. I feel a message is coming back to you that the person doesn't want to talk to you. Fourth ring, I think let's agree to fourth or fifth ring. To find out more, let's talk to the August panel we have lined up today. We have the lovely Kajol, who's got lots to talk about. She's also got lots of angst against spiritual people, I'm told, which we may or may not talk about. I myself am a spiritual person, so I'm feeling pain. We've got Utsav, who's not been on the show for a long time and did not see the show, otherwise he would have requested not to be on it. But thank you. And we've got Silverie, who I think does a lot of good research, guys, and doesn't get applauded. For example, at the top of the show, he would know that today is Navroz or Parsi is a very important day, and that he would have wished me Navroz
Happy
Mubarak.
Navroz.
It's a
Happy
secular
Navroz,
society.
Cyrus.
Yeah. In a secular society, you wish people on their so-called.
I was gonna wish you after the show.
You are going to wish me after the show.
Call you, like
None of you. We spoke 10 minutes before the show started, and nobody wished anybody. You were busy attacking all the celebrities of India who do such great sterling work, albeit without paying GST, as far as I know. But yes, having said that, just wishing everybody who's watching, because we have at least 3 to 4 Parsis, 10% of the population. Anna is a Parsi, your very close friend, Kajol.
I wished her.
But then you lost interest in the movement.
I was going to wish you, Cyrus, on air. I mean, it was a surprise, and you just stepped over it. Now, what do I do?
Okay, I'll take that. But very quickly, let's get back to the rings. Forget the New Year, it's done now. What do you think is fair? When do you disengage? When you call someone? 4 or 5 is out today. How long does it take?
4, 5, 6, I think.
Trung,
no, that's
which is
2,
is actually 1. Trung.
No, Trung
is 2. Bro, which school of music did you go to here?
No, man.
Okay, I don't ring up people. I send them a WhatsApp message saying, let me know when I can call.
Thank you. So, Cyrus, I think the ringing is a thing of the older generation. Young people don't call.
You had to bring age into it. Why is it always relative? Huh.
Yeah, right. So we don't call. And the thing is, if we are calling, we will make sure we go to the entire ring, because it's usually very urgent if someone's getting called. It's not something
I get what you're saying. WhatsApp, 100%. Let's stick to that. It's easier for everyone to disengage, engage, everything. But there are certain people in your social circle you call directly. Even in your work circle, I can call Silverie. We reach a point where I don't have to send him a WhatsApp or him me. So I'm saying, when you call like that, what should be the respect you're giving the person you're calling? Ki 4-5 ho gaya, now shall I back off? Because they're never going to answer after 11, 12. It's very rare.
So I think I usually wait for like about 8 or 10, but the double ones.
You count?
But like, no, I'm just saying like 8 to 10.
Can you explain it to the listeners once again? Because now you've confused me. Just do the rings.
The tring is 1. Tring. That's the second.
What patience, bro? That's 44 rings in my book. Mine is like tring, bang. That's it. The person's in coma, dead, had an accident, there's an epidemic, or Ukraine has been invaded again. So I don't bother.
But Kajol is right. We do usually nowadays send that message first, but I do it after the call. Like if I call first, and if that's not available, then I say,
you didn't understand what Kajol was saying. Which is
I just try to call you. Please let me know when would be a good time to call you, and I'll do so again. Basically,
this good time to call me is also, I feel a little passive aggression. It's like, you bastard, you didn't take the phone, so tell me when is a good time to call. I always get a dirty feeling when I get that message. That person is already pissed off.
It also varies by who you are calling. You're calling a personal contact or a professional contact. I think the behavior is completely different. Because for personal stuff, you usually take them for granted because they are friends and family. Whereas for professional, you want to have some basic level of boundaries to say that, yeah, I'm not randomly calling you and wasting your time.
These
I
days,
take your
I go
point.
for voice notes. I go for voice notes because they can hear it whenever they're free. So
That's
I just
another
let them know.
egotistical thing, isn't it?
Oh, and
I
voice
will
note,
now
you
tell
know
you my
when they've
thought.
heard, huh? The thing with voice notes is, you know when they've heard it. It's not like messages nowadays where everything can be just like non-blue ticks. Everyone just has that on. But messages, when someone plays your message, your voice message, there's a blue sign that counts. So that's a good trick, Cyrus.
But
Sorry,
what
Kajol.
Utsav's
That's
saying,
very smart.
there's merit in that you're looking at formal and informal. Let's just look at informal separately for a second. I know we have topics we have to get into, but informal in the social setting. Supposing now Kajol has a mutual friend called Anna, who's a good friend, so she knows her habits. She probably answers it in 3-4 rings or not. So I'm saying, by that token, can't you make a decision? I'm giving my and you sort of know. Like, trust me, I won't be answering the phone if I don't answer it in 4 rings. I know I'm an impatient person. I'm a little hyper and I just can't. 11 rings and 11 4 rings. Ting, 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 ting. That's like a whole day. That's just
My
ridiculous.
mom has this way of handling it where her sister called her, okay, and she picked up the phone after 12 rings, and she's like, "Couldn't you see I was busy?" So she starts yelling at her.
See? See, that proves our point. There is a ring etiquette that you have to understand. 7, 8, no, it's a
I
message you're
just told
getting
her,
back.
no one thing. I told her it's your choice. Don't pick it up now. Like, no one's
She
forcing
was
you.
trying to send that message by the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th ring. That's
By the
exactly
way,
it.
my mom loves it when I'm on this podcast because she tells all the neighbors she's with Cyrus from MTNL. So she's got this thing
Listen,
about me.
that's a much bigger company. It's a step up. What are you saying? My parents will be proud. Corporate world mein aa gaya wapas. Thank God. Yeah. In cocktail parties with the head held
Uh,
high. Yeah.
How
But
often do you guys see a call coming in, but still let it go to missed call? Okay, maybe you just don't want to talk to the person,
I
or
get
not a
horrified.
fun person to talk to. Yeah, you
Easily
always
1 out
answer
of
the call.
5. 1
1
out
out
of
of 5,
5,
yeah.
I would miss. Yeah, I'll like, I can't talk to this person right now. I don't have
Yeah.
mental bandwidth. Yeah, screw
Yeah.
it. I'll either message or talk
But
to them tomorrow.
that's another
Yeah.
reason for that. Is not really about the person so much. That's because you're in a space where you don't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
want to take
exactly.
calls
It's usually not the
unless they're
person. It's usually
the
not the
very
person. Yeah.
close. Yeah. So that I don't think. But
No,
when
when
you
you're
look at the
running your
go on.
own company, you don't have that sort of choice. So then you have to pick it up, and or you have to send a message saying, "So sorry, I'm busy. I'll call you back later." But you can't just let it slide.
Also, I think it's a question of
Depends on
loneliness
who the
also.
person is, I think.
Yeah.
They're clients.
Also,
They're
Yeah.
always clients.
Okay.
No, so you're
Again,
looking at it only as an instrument that
yeah,
generates work. That's a totally different story
yeah.
altogether. I'm looking at it as a painful instrument sometimes because people call up with the painful conversations. And like my friend Kunal, another bad habit, he never says after bye, there's always a PS. So it's very irritating. Okay, done, done. And as you're putting it down, you hear him saying, but call back again. What was the last one? No, nothing, nothing. Just I thought we could finish it with that. He comes back with this line. Okay, bye, bye. Oh, but yeah, again, call back again. There are people who drive me nuts like that because there's no finality in what they're doing. It's always like, part 2 coming up soon. So this phone etiquette, someone has to come up with it. Kajol, I'm giving you
Like
this for your
my
next routine.
my
Develop it
mom, no.
properly.
My
There you
mom
go.
will always call twice. She's a double caller. In the sense, she'd call once and have something to say,
Second mocha.
and then she'll cut the call. And then the second call will always come. There'll be a second call with the main intention of what the call was supposed to be.
Why?
Yeah. It's
Wait,
just,
why
I don't
did-
know.
Can we
She
have your mom
always
on the show?
forgets. She always forgets. Again, like my father, I think they should not be on this show. They'll
Someone
just
from
say
Indonesia did that
offensive
to
things.
Silverie, Shovik Bakshi, in your face. Guys, the background to that, very
Yes,
sensitive
that is
point.
true.
He was dating a
Nice.
girl who went to
Well done.
Indonesia and left him, basically, and he was
Yeah,
quite upset.
she
So
just
this is a
left.
very insensitive thing that Shovik has brought up. But I will give him A+ for it. Because that's how you toughen the young boys of today. On your
Just leave them.
on your
Yeah,
face.
correct.
Coming back
And
to
before
your
I could
mom.
even ask for dowry, man, not cool, right? But okay.
Kajol, attack! Let's get it now.
What?
Yeah.
That was.
You wait, you need to marry a
yeah.
girl like my wife. And by that I mean another girl, not my wife. I mean, look at our age also, understand, na, Silverie? But once you get a
Yeah.
nice, powerful female figure in your life, na, then all your jokes will be very suppressed. It's like you'll
I
be
mean,
devout while saying it. My
That
voice
doesn't
goes
seem to have
down.
happened with you, Cyrus. Your jokes
I
don't
only
seem
say,
suppressed at all. So
Utsav, I'm
yeah.
safe here.
Cyrus, these are suppressed jokes.
These are my
Wow.
suppressed jokes. Yeah. You have
if
no
your
idea.
jokes, if this is suppressed, I wonder if the real thing will get all of us cancelled in one shot.
Oh, I thought you're worried more about the standard of the joke rather than the quality of who and what. Okay, fair enough. Well, coming back to his mom, just one last thing, then we'll get into the topics. So you're saying she purposely calls and then cuts it?
No. She calls and she'll have a whole conversation for like a good 5-6 minutes, 7 minutes. Like asking beta kya khane mein kitna khaoge, kitni roti banao, or whatever, all that, all the regular stuff. And I'm thinking that's what she called for. And then she'll call up the next one, ke beta mama ji ki tabiyat bahut kharab hai, so we might have to go for
Oh,
to
second
whatever place."
subject.
Yeah, second subject. That's the main subject. She'll always call for the second
Oh.
subject later.
Oh,
Is this-
so that's
yeah,
like an
mom.
afterthought only. Then she's the second thing is not on her mind. She comes back to it. That's possible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
interesting.
well,
The phone
but
culture
always,
of
every single time. It's become like, in the sense, it's become a running joke in the
so
family.
you
that my
you
mom
know to
always
keep the
calls
phone
twice.
ready for the next call. You finish.
Literally,
Bye,
I
mommy.
told this
And then you're
I-
waiting one.
very
two,
often,
three.
I will even tell, like, if I'm hanging with a friend and my mom calls, I will cut the call, like whatever, talk to her for like 5 minutes, cut the call, and say to my friend, okay, you know what, my mom will definitely call again within the next minute or two, and she does. She always does. It has never
Wow.
failed, basically.
God, thank God she's not the governor of a state. You know, you're about to get executed. You get the first call, and then in the middle, you know, she forgets to say whatever. And the second call, and again, she's forgotten the main thing. Tabiyat theek hai, roti khaye, and then all that, but no pardon. What about the pardon? Pardon is forgotten. I see Kajal's lost interest in the show already.
We should get to the topic, Cyrus.
Hey,
Let's quickly
Kajal,
get
we
to
have
the
a new
topic.
rule. Amit
What?
Doshi, our leader, and the team of 4 marketing experts, all under the age of 7, have said we must do 4 topics minimum in each show.
Yeah, we should get to as many
And
topics as we
Vinay
can.
has sent the message, our producer. Let's move to the topic, Silverie. 6:11.
Okay, nice. Perfect. Okay, so
This
because
is
Vinay
a
said
good
it,
time
it
to
has
call
to be
your
done.
mom. Huh.
Yeah.
Just as a social experiment to
Uh,
show everyone you're telling
yeah.
the truth. Okay, go on.
All right. So a big topic for today is that Sri Lanka has cancelled exams, school exams, because they don't have any more paper and ink in the country. Can you believe that? There's no more paper and ink. What turns out, Sri Lanka, as you may know, is going through a major economic crisis because of various reasons. A huge chunk of their economy was dependent on tourism, which COVID absolutely fucked with. So that is gone, and then a lot of it is also due to mismanagement of funds
also,
by their government and corruption,
just
etc.
to put this out of my head quickly, not just economy, but also their middle order is horrible. They've got no batting after Angelo
Yeah.
Matthews. Just to put that in perspective, also sometimes art and sport reflects your situation socially and economically also.
Absolutely.
But just I think you guys don't even know. So when we were young, Utsav and I, at least me for sure, we used to write everything on pen and paper. I'm surprised that Sri Lanka is still using so much pen and paper. I would think that a lot of their stuff would be online, poor or not, considering
And
the
they've also run out
pandemic.
of electricity. They have got 7-hour power cuts. They are queuing up for fuel. It's a shitstorm in Sri Lanka.
So
And
the
it's been
insensitive would say day-night matches won't happen.
yes, Cyrus, the insensitive would say that.
Because you need so many hours of electricity. Huh? Oof.
Uh,
How did this happen? I was planning to go there on a holiday.
Well, you can't. The thing is, it's
Yeah.
become worse.
It'll be
because
even
of
cheaper.
Ukraine.
I will.
It's become worse because of the Ukraine war. You know that there's a war happening, Cyrus. Not supposed to travel during a war.
The thought occurred to me that Ukraine will be cheaper. I mean, all these areas, even the surrounding countries, Poland, Romania, it'll probably be a little cheaper. Russia for sure, because no one wants to go there. They're angry with Russia. You'll see only Chinese and Indian tourists there at the moment. So yeah.
Like
But let's
another
get
big
back to
reason. Another big reason as to why this happened is because of something called the Chinese debt trap.
Yeah.
So China had
They
invested
built
money in one of
everything
their
there.
yeah, exactly. So they had invested money in like some 8 billion USD. They had invested in some port project, a port project called
Port
Hamban
project, yeah.
Tota port project that they had invested money in. And so but they weren't able to pay them back at all, Sri Lanka. So what they had to do was, for the next 99 years, they had to lease the project back to Sri Lanka, in the sense, for the next 99 years, 85% of the profits generated by that project will go to China straight.
Oh, so you're working for free.
Yeah. So basically, they're working for free. They're basically using China's using Sri Lankan land for free, as they want.
And but there's a more sinister element there. They have berthed 2 Chinese submarines in that port, which India is not very happy about, because it's giving China straight access into our southern area.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
we have Adani has also built another port side by side. Okay? As in that
Adani!
Oh, we find drugs in that port, right? No, sorry. Moving on.
This is the new Akshay Kumar starrer. Adani versus the Chinese.
Yeah.
What should it be? From Andheri West to Shanghai. What was that? Chowrangi Lane. What was it? No, what was it? From Delhi
Chandni
to
Chowk to
somewhere.
China?
Chandni
Chandni Chowk to
Chowk.
China.
Sunny Chowk to China.
Correct.
Sunny Chowk to China.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So Sri Lanka not looking good. How sad. A lot of our countries are going to suffer in the next few months. It looks like. I hope we aren't one of
They're
them.
hoping to ask for a bailout from the IMF.
The World Bank.
Apparently. Yeah. Or what is the IMF? I'm forgetting the full form.
The
International
International
Monetary
Monetary
Fund.
Fund.
Yeah, that's International
Wow.
Monetary Fund. They're
And is
asking
India
for
going to
the
help?
IMF.
We've always been the big brother who's sort of helped.
So,
But how can we help?
last year, if you remember, Imran Khan asked us for air passage, the rights to use Indian airspace, because he was
Right.
going to Sri Lanka for some business. Okay,
Right.
I'm not sure. Like, what would he be doing business in Sri Lanka at that point for?
But at
That
the same
submarine
time,
you mentioned, that's the only interesting thing for our neighbors.
because Pakistan is
Submarine.
another country
Why
which
don't you
is pretty
park it in
much
Karachi
now
port and
beholden to
we'll look
China.
after it? Sorry?
Yeah.
Pakistan is another country which is pretty much beholden to China because China wants to use the Karachi port, right? So for all you know, Imran Khan must have been sent via China to say that, oh, please
did.
go
They
and
did.
secure
Actually,
our
that's a
interests. Yeah,
So
interests
then why
in,
didn't he just
Sri
fly
Lanka.
over China? Simple.
And had reached
Safest.
Sri Lanka,
How to
how?
come to Sri Lanka?
How? And Cyrus,
Bro,
no,
I'm
please
not a
explain
travel
this,
agent,
Cyrus.
bro.
I don't
No,
think you use pen and paper because the geography is all over the place.
Exactly.
You clearly don't even use pen and
Okay.
paper in school also.
You know how to plot Iran on the map.
Marco bloody Polo found his way from Italy. Okay? And to the modern day, you're saying a guy from Lahore can find his way to Beijing and from Beijing to Colombo. It's not impossible. Come on.
He's
So
one
So
of
you're
the
saying
best Chinese that you
anyone
have.
that is catching a flight from Pakistan to Sri Lanka has to go from above Indian airspace?
Yes.
Yeah, how
I
else
mean,
will you
Well,
go?
I'm sure
the
they manage.
fastest
I'm
way,
sure
the fastest
along
way,
the
it's
Indian-
west of northwest of India, so it's the fastest way
Yeah.
in, I presume, from most areas.
Yes.
But it's not the only route. You can take the submarine, for example. I mean, that would be an interesting way. Oh, maybe not.
But you're still crossing our waters. No?
True.
I mean,
Our
I would
territorial
assume.
waters. Yeah.
But in 2008, we weren't even paying
it has,
attention.
water also correct. Yeah.
Remember?
Well, yeah. I guess
not bring that
Pakistan
up.
and Sri Lanka are not allowed to have like a relationship
No,
without India basically in the middle.
no, but the funny part is that all this is because of India. India's a catalyst in a way. And that's why China's leg is in, more from a commercial point of view than a war point of view. But the leg is in also to make sure that the big brother doesn't dominate more. And that's why they've
So,
kept
but
their leg in and controlling
that
these
point-
two countries.
To that point, Cyrus, Imran Khan has said some good things about India. I
Yeah,
will just show you a
India's
video
foreign
quickly.
policy. Only
India
India's
foreign policy.
foreign
I'll just play that quick video if I can. I will just.
I
I'll
like
just
it.
stream.
I like how
Things are
Silverie
wickets
sticking off
are
topic.
favouring batsmen and spin too early.
Yeah, I will just 1 second. I'll just play this. So this is what Imran Khan said about Indian foreign policy.
साथ वाला हमारा मुल्क है हिंदुस्तान। मैं आज हिंदुस्तान को दाद देता हूं। इन्होंने हमेशा आजाद फॉरेन पॉलिसी रखी। आज हिंदुस्तान उनके साथ मिला हुआ है, उनका अलायंस है। क्वाड के अंदर अमेरिका का अलायंस की हुई है और अपने आप को वो कहता है मैं न्यूट्रल हूं। रूस से तेल मंगवा रहा है जबकि सैंक्शंस लगी हुई हैं, क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान की पॉलिसी अपने लोगों की बेहतरी के लिए है।
Now,
So do you believe that?
Have you understood the?
Sarcastic?
Is that
Isn't he
correct?
being sarcastic?
No, not really. But you
No,
understand
no,
what he's trying to
I think
say.
he's being.
It's not sarcastic. What he's saying is that they are thinking of their people first, in light of
Yeah.
what he was in contextual to what he's saying before and after about what he's doing for his people. So let's understand his politics, very refined politics at its best. I don't see it as praise.
Having said that, he has also picked up enough debt from China even in his own tenure. So it's not that
But
you know.
Utsav, when you inherit a dying company, literally a sick company, in corporate India also, let's look at Kingfisher or Air India or all these things which you have to be turned around. It's not going to be easy. You have to open your bowl and look around for help. So it's the same thing. That's why I don't know why they wanted to be PM of Pakistan. It's already got so much debt. It's got not enough infrastructure happening, and they've never had a boom in the last 20-25 years like India. Bangladesh has had a boom. Bangladesh GDP went up in the last few years. Bangladesh is looking good, relatively speaking. So Pakistan really has a lot to. I don't know what they did with that country, except for some of the finest bowlers the world has ever seen. I mean, other than that, a few good comedians, some singers, yes, lovely people, great food. Okay, what the hell? We'll keep it.
So I have a question for you guys. Do you think India is indirectly kind of like by buying crude oil from Russia, are we funding Russia's attack on Ukraine in a way? Would that
You can-
be because they're giving money to them? Is
No, but
that
what-
not
what-
fair to say?
Funding it, but
Not
what he said
funding
is
it.
right that India is saying they are neutral, but they're still taking the oil, which I
Yeah.
found was sarcastic.
No, Kajal, technically neutral means that you're not taking action for or against in a sense. Okay. So they
Okay.
continue with commerce. This is active action of not trading. It is action. It is active action that is being taken by all the countries. So our point is we're not taking that active action, but we are not endorsing the war effort. Now, I'm not taking this side of India diplomacy on this at all. I'm just saying that it's very Machiavellian politics, and that's what he's trying to talk about. The end justifies the means, and my people first. I look after my family, and then I look after the neighbor. Something like that. So
Because
I
he
don't
was also
know.
very bitter. He was very bitter about being part of America's war on terrorism and having to go into Afghanistan on their behalf. So I think that's what he's trying to say, that we got nothing out of that.
But haven't you noticed the Americans have pulled out slowly from Pakistan? They're no longer playing the stepfather role. And like Utsav and you both mentioned, now it's gone to China and Russia, maybe to some extent, because what the hell was he doing there when the first tanks rolled out? He was in Moscow. That was another,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Do
all
you
they
think he
could say
knew?
is that,
Do you think he knew it was going to happen, or it just
come
happened
on, Silverie,
coincidence?
head of state is coming. They're
Yeah.
not going to tell him what's going on. I mean,
Yeah, right. I would
they're
imagine.
like, sir, please check out the,
I
we've got the
don't think
Bolshoi ballet
Imran
for
Khan
you. And
was so clued in that, oh, I must visit this country now because the war is happening. He was probably as caught off guard as the Ukrainians. He was like, "Ye kya ho gaya? Nobody
Yeah, he
briefed
wouldn't have
me on
gone.
this.
You're right. He
What
wouldn't have
happened to
gone.
my
I think
strategic
Putin was in such a
priorities?"
bad mood that week that when he called up to say, "Boss, man, next week aega," right now, he was like already upset. So no canceling anything. Everything should go on as normal. Yeah. But look,
So
when he became PM,
you know that Putin is calling all of us, Pakistan, India, China, North Korea, I think, for a anti-fascism conference. we are going to be anti-fascism conference.
Kajal, you guys are comedians.
Wow, this
Tell
is
me,
muh
it's called the
bola.
People's
What
Democratic
is?
Republic of China. It's
Yeah.
called the Democratic Republic of North Korea. For God's sake, I mean,
Shall I tell you
East
the
Germany
voting
was called the
process?
Democratic
No,
Federal
wait, wait.
Democratic Republic of Germany.
Shall I tell you the voting process in North Korea? Okay, so
Yes.
everyone goes to vote. They're given it's a full voting ballot process. Huh? There's only
Okay.
one option on the ballot, which is of course Kim Jong Un, and then there is another option saying I would not like to vote for it. You are given that choice, but you have to say you have to very clearly tick that you're not voting for it.
Are these
Then
anonymous
later on-
ballots though?
No,
Anonymous
there's
voting, right?
nothing. There's no anonymous.
Oh, it's not
Anonymous
anonymous.
का मतलब क्या है? There's nothing
Oh
completely
God.
anonymous. Na? There's some way of identifying the person who's put in the vote. Huh?
It's all tracked, and then immediately after everyone votes, they go directly for the victory parade. Okay.
I love this guy.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Because
I think
So
we are getting
blatant,
there.
man. Wow.
We are
see, we
getting
make
there
a
as a
mockery of
country.
democracy. He's the Bindas guy in the end. No, he's being blatant. In a sense, you
Yeah.
have to respect that. It's like a crook who's a crook, not a crook who's pretending to be a saint, which is what all the countries of the world, West and us included, are filled with. Yeah. So
No, but
in a
we are
sense,
getting there.
he's the
No, we
old
don't have
man.
an opposition, so we'll get there at some point.
Of course we
I
will.
think we will get there. So I don't think we are very far away from what.
अरे
North Korea
क्या
is
no
doing.
opposition एक आदमी आ गया his name is Arvind Kejriwal and he's now nominated Harbhajan Singh for Rajya Sabha. That's his way of making sure that politics in Punjab remains good and clean. Yeah, so you're right, but I don't know if we don't have an opposition, then honestly we'll have to change the name of India. I think this democratic word is being unnecessarily used. Why have it? Like you guys just said, why make a mockery out of all these things? Leave it. Is it that important? We live as long as we can eat and do whatever we can do. But accept that there are rules and regulations. Like Kajal, you cannot make fun of the government. You cannot make fun of X person or Y person or whatever. They give us a list of rules. I'm all for it, and we just
The thing
continue.
is, we are conditioned to believe that the ancient Greeks loved democracy, and we have this vision in our mind of Socrates and all. Do you know that Socrates and all of those guys were actually against democracy? They were very free thinkers. They were liberals, but they were against democracy.
In fact, the
Yeah,
whole
but they were
civilization has
against
been built on
democracy
slavery.
primarily because of the masses not being educated enough to be democratic. So
But
that
but
different thought process. It's like
so
it's a
that
conspiracy.
Isn't there a saying that
Elitism, yeah.
goes?
And
there's a
I'm
saying
all for that as
goes-
well because you know
Is
the
there a-
amount of morons that are
Okay,
out there, and you
Utsav
give
was
them the
saying
right to
something.
vote.
Utsav
Huh?
was saying that.
Yeah, I was just
Sorry,
saying that
Utsav.
the Greeks built their entire democracy on slavery. Their entire civilization has been built on slavery, right? So they are not the ones who are going to be, let's give these people who are exploiting the power to vote. They're not going to do that, right? So now wherever it has happened, everyone is like, oh no, what have we done? We have tried to give power to the powerless, who we have exploited ourselves. So yeah,
Yes.
it's there.
So there's a saying that goes that democracy is the worst form of government, if not for the others.
Yeah,
So
true.
none of them are good. but democracy is, from what we have at the systems that we've seen,
It's sort
is
of
the
like
one
the evolved
that's,
form of
yeah.
government
Then you're
after
sounding. I
totalitarianism.
think
Sorry,
like Modi has said that what we need is benevolent.
it took you 24 minutes to take his name.
No, I can take it whenever I want. Okay.
Kim
So what
Jong
we
Un made
need
it
is
first. Imran Khan before that. I want to point out.
benevolent dictatorship is more or less what we're talking about then, right? A dictator who you like, kind of.
Well, it's all in the strategizing of not just Indian politics. I think across the world, lots of democracies. Perhaps let's leave Scandinavia out of it, and maybe Switzerland and a couple of others. By and large, most democracies function with the guy in charge or the government in charge trying their best to rig it in their favor, rightly or wrongly, legally or illegally. You sort of do that, with whatever instruments you can. And America is no different. That's the way it is. So with freedom comes that price. Guys, what do you think now? Do you open this Pandora's box about everybody being allowed to vote? I mean, there's one idealism to that, ki sabko vote milna chahiye. I mean, why not? But then, what about quality of individual character
You're
assessment?
talking about criminals. Like in
Yeah,
Yeah,
America,
I'm not talking
criminals
about money.
cannot vote.
Okay, don't get into elitism in that sense. Intellectual elitism is very different from elitism. In fact, very often they're like a paradox. So, what do you think about having some sort of, regulatory points for a person to vote?
But that's
No,
what Rome
completely
did.
against it.
Utsav, you Democrat. How dare you?
I'll be the first person, basis my political views, where like isko to vote karne dena hi nahi chahiye. So no, I'm completely against it. It purely from a personal reason. I'm not an altruistic person. From a selfish perspective, I'm saying I want to be wanting to vote. Hence, everyone should be allowed to vote.
Okay, and I'm coming from a feminist standpoint that historically women were not allowed to vote. So then it is just dependent on who the masses think should vote or should not vote, and that should again
What
not
about
be a decision.
what about
which should be
Kajol?
allowed.
If you came up with an idea which is not so far away from where the racism argument is going, where we'll reach a point where white men will start looking like the worst people in society for no reason whatsoever but history. So what about you try to clean up history in a sense, and men are not allowed to vote for 40 years. Only women vote.
Do you think that time will ever come to pass? I mean,
That's another
this whole
point. Now
this
this
whole
is our
white
show.
men.
You
I
own
think
the show.
what if we had 4 years, in the sense like the
No, I'm
one
not
election
saying
only
Silverie,
women are
can
allowed, the next
I just
election
want
only
Kajol
men
to
are
answer
allowed, and
this.
then only women again, and then only men again.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's a decent idea. How? No, why I'm saying that is you can see if the performance is better, and there's a chance that there might be in gender bias, if you like, that female governance and female sort of choices being a little more collectively good for the society.
Why
In a
would you
sense,
say that? Why would you say that?
because
Why do
that
you generalize that?
exactly the word he used: more altruistic, more compassionate, and more understanding. And I 100% believe there's a difference between males and females in
No,
a
yeah,
general
it's
capacity.
not like that. I'm just saying that okay, the distinction should have never been made in the first place. But once you make a distinction, a criteria of who should vote or who should not vote, you're opening up that for people to take these decisions for everyone else. It should be open to all. It has to be. That should be your basic thing.
I gave you all a chance to murder democracy correctly and let us come on top. No, you don't want that. In the end, everybody who's on top has
if
done
it's
it. In
happening anyways, why do we need a chance from
That's
you,
what.
Cyrus?
It will happen
It's
anyway.
anyways happening, so why not?
But it'll be fun to call up your friend and say, Samir, you can't vote. Why? No, I found out. 8th standard failed. Bus, whatever the reason is. Can you imagine? Silverie, what would be the reason for you to not allow a guy to vote in India?
So I just know that criminals aren't allowed to vote, but they should be. I feel like everyone should be allowed to vote, but they should be. Yeah.
Only they should be. Let them have.
Yeah, only criminal allowed. Man.
When consider
We
the
already have a
society
huge
prepares
criminal
the-
population, so it would be enough, I guess.
If the society prepares the crime and the only criminal commits it, the criminal has all the right to vote actually, because in many ways he or she may be the product of the society we are living in.
And an active, so fair enough. Why should they be a passive onlooker to the proceedings?
Yep,
Done.
they should be allowed
I'm
to
putting
vote.
on all these ideas. I will talk to the government of India. I'm on my way to Calcutta tomorrow. I will sort all this out. As you know, the government of India and Calcutta are not getting along. But let's move on. Next. First, let's
All right.
deal with criminals standing for elections. Correct, Ruben.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes.
And then the children
wait,
of criminals.
the criminals who are standing for election, can they vote? Are they allowed to vote?
Well, they
I'm
can.
sure
If you
they
can
are.
stand for election, then you can vote. So there
Yep.
has to be, like, you've already paid your sentence, or it's you're out on bail and you've not got a judgment. There must be some gray areas. Let's ask the stand-up comedians. Half of them are criminals. Kajol, anyone
Half
we
of
can
them are criminals.
ask? I'm just leaving the ball outside the off stump to see if the batsman is going to nick it or not. Yeah, I like doing that. All right, so that's topic one done. Topic.
That
Let's break.
topic like we did like two. Let's take a
Your
break. And then
producer
we'll
is
come
giving you
back
too
on more.
many instructions. Vinay is saying let's break. Now, just because you like being an asshole, you should say no. Let's carry on.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, let's do 5 other topics and then let's take a break. No. Let's take a break right now.
It's not a democracy, Vinay. Silverie decides. So, are we taking a break?
Yes, please. Yes.
All right. So, here's the break. Utsav, Kajol, stay with us. Please don't disappear like our other guests. Every time we put the break on, they go. Here it is, the break.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On All Things Policy, the hosts talk about India approving a fourth COVID-19 vaccine. This time is for children, and they discuss some of the challenges that are involved when you're doing clinical trials for kids. On the Filter Coffee podcast, Karthik is joined by Amar Singh Patra, Managing Director of Spotify India, to talk about how Spotify's growth approach was different for India in comparison to other countries. On the Paisa Vaisa podcast, Anupam Gupta is in conversation with Praveen Jadhav, founder and CEO at Dhan. They discuss how stock trading has evolved over the last 10 years. On the Edges and Sledges cricket podcast, Varun and Ashwin dive into the first 3 matches by Team India in the Women's ODI World Cup. They also chat with Mr. Atul Srivastava, founder of SmartCricket.com, about player management. And the Simplified Gang gets into a group discussion about MBA ambitions. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platform that you might be listening to us. You can also check us out on YouTube. We have a webpage, ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, where a list of all our channels are. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance, Bank of Baroda, India Water Portal, and Max Life Insurance. Thank you so much for making this possible.
What about getting 2 votes for prominent personalities who achieve things in life? For example, if Lakshya Sen reached the finals of the All England, one of the things he gets is next elections he's allowed 2 votes because he brought glory to the country. How about that? Plurality of votes.
So you're saying someone's votes matter more than someone else's?
Again,
Utsav
it's the whole thing about the quality of the vote, going to the quality of your society rather than quantity. It's quality over quantity argument. If you don't want to get into class
Kajol, you're on
issues.
mute.
Kajol, well, I've kept her on mute. Otherwise, she
No,
overtalks and I
Utsav,
don't
you
get
as
to say
well.
anything.
Utsav, you as well. Please unmute yourself.
Okay,
I've done that. What are you doing?
No,
Okay.
one thing. Wait. Okay,
Say.
quality of vote meaning you're saying a sports person who may have won a gold
No,
medal.
dude, that's just an example, Kajol.
I'm giving you an example. Okay, there's a certain sports person who won a gold medal for us, and who tweets.
Neeraj Chopra. There's only one
no,
single
no,
gold
no.
medal.
There is another. I mean, not maybe. Okay. Who tweets about wanting genocide?
Oh, you're talking about the shooter. Okay, Abhinav.
I'm not. Forget it. Let's not take names. Okay.
But I'm stuck there.
Okay, there's a medal. Okay, I've forgotten whether it's a gold, it's a silver, or a bronze. There's a medal.
Oh, Raghavendra Rathore. Okay, all right. Silver. You get your details right because I've got a Parsi mindset. And now the details were, you said gold and you threw me. Okay, so now that we are back to silver,
there is a medal. Okay, I'm just saying that.
He's a member of parliament and a cabinet minister at one point. And okay, go on.
No. I'm not talking about that person at all. I'm just saying.
And who the hell are we talking about?
I don't want to take a name because of your sponsors and all of that. Shall I just go ahead?
Okay, don't take the name. Don't take the name. But what is your point?
My point is that she tweets about genocide. Okay, like literally, there are tweets about calling for genocide. So how do you decide whether the person is worthy of?
Yeah, I know of this. I won't speak because those same sponsors also support this little podcast and my little podcast. Yeah, so absolutely. There's no question of having double votes or giving basically giving them 2 votes is essentially giving them more weight to their vote. Another form of discrimination fundamentally, right? Tomorrow, then you would say that, all men contribute to the economy, so we will give them more weightage of their vote.
So my next point of giving even better people 3 votes is redundant. Shouldn't even figure
Absolutely.
Okay, the panel is very clear out here. But I don't know. I still believe the quality. I guess we need to go to the drawing board and figure out my quality argument. But sometimes I'm wondering if there's another path to.
But Cyrus, at this rate, you will not even get 1 vote.
You mean I won't be allowed to give 1 vote? Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
हम लोग तो मलवाल में रहता है यार. We don't vote. Have you seen the turnout? Nobody comes. The watchman
South Mumbai turnout is generally very poor. So yeah, I understand maybe.
Actually, South Mumbai is terrible, really, and it's been terrible for generations. It's not even like now something has changed. Very sad. I guess South Bombay is so happy with itself, they don't want any governance. They don't care. That's the way it is.
No, they start going on rampages against what street side hawkers and all that. You see them all up in arms now.
We don't have any street side hawkers. Those are just poor residents whose kids have thrown them out. That happens. Valkeshwar is filled with them. We have to help house them and all. Please look after your elders properly and don't do those kind of things. I've heard these horror stories, Kajal, jokes apart, terrible stories in the area. I'm sure you guys have heard in Mumbai and the whole thing about house and how people go berserk when it comes to the inheritance of a house. My God. Sobo is still in British Raj mentality, says Vishwa Yatri. Huh? And for the record, Silverie is a Soboite for many years. A breach candy
I
boy, no
was,
less.
correct. Yeah.
Yes.
No,
used
Beach
to be
Candy was
greedy
cool.
on his
Nepean
cycle.
Road is where I used to say.
Huh.
Sorry,
Correct.
just
So Nepean Sea
government
Road.
housing. Government housing. My dad was at a government job.
Hyderabad estate, no?
Government. No, not Hyderabad State. This is ND Road, Narayan Davolkar Road.
Yeah. Where the judges live in all lovely
CRA.
places.
Yeah,
Right, right next to Chandanwadi also. I mean, not that we should bring that up, but I'm just saying as a location. Wow. Okay. Interesting, Baba.
Okay.
He's blue blood.
Yeah.
This is a blue-blooded boy. South Bombay, Kajal. 2 votes. Beta, तेरे को 2 vote मिलेगा कम से
Even
कम.
I've also lived in South Bombay. I lived in Pedder Road.
Better
Oh,
road,
wow.
2 votes. 2 votes.
Utsav, tell us.
Should I
You
just
also
leave
stayed in
this
Kemp's
call?
Corner.
No. Should I just leave this call because I lived in Sakinaka? Okay, so I'm just dropping off because this has now become a class problem here.
Thank God you didn't say Marol. That's Silverie's pet
Yeah,
peeve.
yeah.
You go to
But
Marol, he goes
Sakinaka also
berserk.
right there. Sakinaka also right
Yeah,
there,
it's-
right
it's
next
right,
to Marol.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
This thing. Yeah, it is. Literally.
Hey guys, look, there's some sort of prejudices no matter what you do. It doesn't have to be racism and sexism. It's always going to be there. Okay, what's next topic wise?
Okay, yeah. So from talking about good areas to live in, let's go to good countries to live in. This is the this
Safe
year's
countries?
World's Happiness Index, happiness report has come out. Happiest countries to live in. So Finland ranks number 1 for the 5th year straight.
Wow.
And Cyrus, can you guess what the last country is in this list?
The worst, you
Cyrus.
mean?
The
The
worst
worst?
country to live in. Yeah.
Syria?
No, it's due to some recent events that country has reached that place.
Russia?
If you can.
Ukraine?
No.
Well,
This so okay. This was done before the Russia-Ukraine thing. This index was taken before the Russia-Ukraine thing. So just before that, what had happened in the world? If you can quickly guess.
Pandemic? China?
No, it's actually Afghanistan after the
Afghanistan.
Taliban thing
Okay.
is the worst country to live in. But India, other than Afghanistan, we are below all our neighbors in happiness
What?
indexes. Yeah.
Below
So
Pakistan?
Pakistan is above us.
Because of
Bhutan
the
is
mutton.
above us.
The
Sri
mutton
Lanka
much
is still
better.
above
I'm
us.
telling you, just because of the mutton, they've been ranked above, and the milk. The milk is
Yeah,
very good.
very possible.
Yeah.
So apparently, what they're saying
Sri
is
Lanka
that
is above
a
us.
reason-
You began by ranting about
Lanka-
Sri Lanka. Oh my
yeah,
God.
Bangladesh is above us.
So
Dude,
your
everyone's happier than us.
Utsav
That's just sad.
and Kajol, your democracy has failed. We will go with my idea because we have gone below Sri Lanka
Yeah.
in this podcast alone.
Wait, I have
Oh,
something
that's
to
quite sad.
Okay. Have any of y'all met anyone from Finland?
I've seen
I
half
have
your clothes at an
I
airport.
don't think so.
Beyonce,
Okay,
I don't think so.
my
who beat
friend
Eddie
Nan-
Hall yesterday or day before in the clash of the two strong men who broke the 1,000-pound deadlift barrier. Kajol, no votes for you. Anyway, I have
Okay,
been. Sorry.
my friend married a Finnish guy. Okay, and I've gone
Okay.
trekking with a lot of his friends and a lot of Finnish people. You can't tell that they're happy. They're a very
Oh,
too
it's like
stoic.
a lot
Lovely.
deadpan,
They're
or
very
a lot of
stoic.
deadpan.
Yeah.
totally,
So-
like, my friend was this very bubbly woman in Bandra, and she used to love laughing and all. She's like, Kajol, it's so weird. In Finland, the how you say a joke is someone says a joke and no one laughs, and apparently that is what is funny, that no one laughs.
Wow.
She said, I can't
Imagine,
get
Oh,
it.
wow.
imagine when
Is
they give
this
you
for
great
real?
news, like,
Wow.
hey, your cancer is cured. And there's like no reaction.
Yeah.
Wow, happy
They are
birthday.
like
Mm.
They are like that. They're very sweet people, but they don't show anything on their face.
Look at India. Come to a
I
Sangeet.
get that. So
The vendor
that's
is
part of.
celebrating.
So experts, happiness experts, if there are some, are
Yeah,
saying
how do they?
in comparison
How do they-
between India and Pakistan, right? They are saying that India, it seems like the citizens of India have a lot more expectations with their lives. Okay, I want this also to be good. I want my roads to be good. My infrastructure to be better, and this is this.
No, I want
Pakistan
Wi-Fi not to drop.
Have
That's the
resigned
big
themselves
problem.
to their
Oh.
Pakistan people have kind of like resigned themselves to their situation. That's why in that regard they are more content, and India is less so. because we have high expectations. So when their expectations are not met, we are sad, or compared to say Pakistan and Bhutan or what have you.
Yeah.
Probably.
Also, we have.
Makes kind of sense, yeah.
Okay, but wait, there's something in Finland which I should tell you about. Okay, so
Okay,
every
sure.
year you have to the guys carry their wives on their backs, and they have a
Correct.
race.
In the cold water, no?
No, they have a race. Okay, so the person who carries their wife for the longest distance gets her weight in beer.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
That's fantastic. No, what is the
So-
happiest country in the
So
world?
maybe the guys
Finland?
who didn't win are the ones who are so sad because they don't get any beer. That's why their face always remains like this. Is that what's happening in Finland?
No, maybe also the weight of the wife. The size
They're
of
the single people.
wife, the heavy-set wife can also
No
cause the emotions to go drain from your body at some point. I can imagine the husband telling the wife to start training herself so that he can carry her in 6 months' time. Yeah.
correct.
But who this is an intangible product, happiness. Who the hell is, how do you define it? Oh, what's
Yeah,
happiness
actually,
to you,
as
me,
someone
and
who
four
works
of us?
with statistics and surveys as a day job, right?
Mhm.
All of these things are extremely subjective, right? For example, what
Exactly.
questions you ask, what models of happiness do you perceive, right? And cultures perceive happiness differently, and so on. So all these are extremely
Also-
subjective models. So you
Can I
can't
tell you
really
The
something
put a
time of
crazy?
year
number.
also would depend, right? Time of year also, when you're doing the survey, that would also depend on someone else's happiness.
But
in
can I
mind.
tell you something?
Yeah,
How
so,
ridiculous this is? For example, I take the dogs down under 5 in the morning, and when they do their potty, I get really happy, and when they don't, I get really irritated. It's just small things like that. So how do you define what makes? I can't tell you. That really makes me happy when it goes well, and then I'm off. I'm just in a good mood after that for some reason.
Yeah, so
So
Cyrus, the
what is the
good part
level,
is
like
that
Kajol said?
these surveys don't ask about how your dog's potty is. Thankfully, they're not gone to that state
No,
yet.
but I'm saying what makes each person happy is different, right? I mean, it's not just money.
And also, if you're living
Yeah.
in China and someone comes and asks you, "Are you happy?" What are you going to say?
You have to say, yeah, we have to say.
Yeah,
In North, in
Correct,
North
that's what
Korea, in
North
North Korea,
Korea, yeah.
options.
On-
I'm very
in the
happy
ballot.
or I'm super happy.
While vote-
They give you the two
Yeah.
options. Yeah,
It
Yeah,
I'm the
reminds me of
happiest.
Who do you want to vote for? And are you happy with your vote?
Yeah,
Is the
yeah,
next question.
yeah.
You have to always say yes.
I was
But at
shooting
least he
for an
doesn't
ad.
give all four choices his name. That would be even funnier. Kim Jong Un, B. Kim Jong Un, C. Kim Jong Un, and Kim Jong Un.
I was shooting for an ad recently, and we shot it 100 times almost because of, each of the person's cues. And every time they start with "and laugh," and they're like "ha ha ha," so it becomes pretty easy, when
I've
you're
had this
supposed to laugh for the government.
I've had this argument while shooting. Now that you mention it, why do they have to say action in that way? Especially going to an emotional scene or something, it makes no sense. When they put you in like you're going to do powerlifting. Everybody goes to the okay, ready, everybody ready. Okay, 1, 2, energy, action. But sometimes you don't need that. Especially someone
Yeah.
who's hyper like me, I respond to a dog whistle. So I hate that because I just go up, and sometimes you don't want to go up. And most people go up,
Cyrus,
because they're
one
trained,
second.
classically conditioned to
Cyrus.
go up.
Does your wife feed you glucose, Murray, or has she replaced those with,
No, I just carry her
pedigree?
every
No,
weekend
I'm just
on my back
asking
and
because
run up
you're
the Silver Hill.
very into dog stories these days.
No, these are fascinating points that nobody wants to share with me. I'll call up Joe Rogan. Me, Sadhguru, and him will discuss it. We are friends.
All
To
right.
speak German.
Cyrus, have you
I
ever
gave
gone
you-
to a doctor and he said, Cyrus, you have too much energy. Here's something for that extra energy. Has that ever happened?
No, but they've asked me to sit outside, including meetings. Recently, last year,
Okay,
in the
we
pandemic,
just talk
went
to
a
your
meeting,
wife.
and after
who
some
is
time,
also
because
your
I was
mother.
teasing Kunal so much, they said, okay, why don't you sit out and we'll just finish it and all that. So one person took me out to see the office and they continued with the meeting. Those things happen, but that's fine. The wife,
That's fine.
actually, I lose my energy around her for some reason. It's a bit like the Kim Jong Un phenomenon. When he's actually there, people start, getting intimidated. It's more like that. Utsav, you're married, right?
Look at your
Yeah,
suppressed jokes, Cyrus.
Be very careful.
Great to see your suppressed jokes. Yeah, correct. All right,
I have to
let's
call
get
it
to
like
the
it is
emails
because
we
she
have.
doesn't watch the podcast and
Yeah.
she's not here. She's gone for a building meeting.
Oh, okay.
See, in our family, the leadership is very much with the females. I do all this
Yep.
nonsense and they make all the good decisions. Where are we?
AMS? We have quite a few AMS.
AMS.
All right, let's go. The first one comes in from Rushikesh Kulkarni, who says,
Wait.
yes.
Lights, camera, action. Now go.
All right, Rushikesh Kulkarni
Yeah.
has asked, does anyone know why the voicemail culture never became a thing in India, whereas in the West, it is still a thing?
I was a big fan. I love the voicemail culture. And you can be very funny. You guys are comedians. Well, Utsav is funny, and Kajol, you are a very funny comedian who's paid money for it. Don't you like the voicemail culture when it came in? You could leave different messages, etc. Just to irritate sometimes.
I never really saw the point of using it, to be honest. Like, and by the time we really got into this whole communication, by the time we had voice notes and WhatsApp and chats. And anyways, I think the West largely lives when it comes to telecommunications and payments. They are a very, very backward sort of a setup, right? I mean, they still text people, and so yeah, I think it's nice that we actually skipped the whole voicemail thing. I don't think it serves any purpose.
Well, it's close to the voice note, but it allows you to be a little creative. That's what I'm saying.
That's there, but Indians aren't very confident using their voices. They prefer to type.
Yeah, there's an awkward pause
really
always, no?
Yeah.
If the answering machine you leave it on, there's always an awkward pause with most people. Like, yeah, this is Sunita. Can you call me back? That's it. Nothing more coming. Yeah.
So, Kajol, you had said you send out a voice notes. Do you have to re-record your voice note? Okay, no, that one didn't come out right. Does that happen?
No, because I'm used to speaking now. Because after 5 years in stand-up, I'm used to speaking. Earlier, probably I would have had a problem.
God, that would be so funny, right? If you do 12 takes and send them all and say, no, this one's better. Number 7 was my best.
Please use number 7. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, nice. All right. Next one comes from Janil Bain, who says, will you guys travel by the new metro lines opening up in Mumbai? Would metros actually help reduce traffic in Mumbai, according to you guys?
No, technically, Utsav should take this one above us, but I'll just quickly say that technically on paper it will help. But the point is, and we've discussed this with people from the fraternity, will everyone use it? Like New York, London, Paris, or Beijing, wherever. Everyone means the multimillionaire and the McDonald worker or the guy who's sweeping the floor. Everyone has to use it. That's when it's going to work. So that I don't know.
The pricing will be quite high. I mean,
that's the other problem. Because you're going not A to B is only a few people. A lot of people go A to B, B to C, C back to A to B. So then it has to make sense. Give this honestly, to me.
After seeing it, I mean, it's being built outside my window literally. And after seeing it being built for so many years, I need to see people. I know I'll wait for people to go once or twice and then see if it's still standing and all that. I'm not.
But I'll tell you.
It's standing. Yeah, correct, dude. It has happened multiple times where during the thing it has broken down during
True.
While it's functioning, it has broken down.
But on the other hand, Silverie,
was one of them.
2 weekends back, I went to Maryland. If I have to go and they tell me I got a 40-minute option, take this metro and you're there. I mean, that's, how can you say no? There are some places where I think just it's impossible.
I think there needs to be a suburban opinion here. I think there is too much South Bombay opinion going around with that.
Suburbs, I'm suburbs now.
I'm in suburbs. I'm in Kajol.
Yeah,
no, you come from Pedder Road, you said, right? So that doesn't count.
I live there.
Kajol, you can't have it both ways. You're very political today. Either you're my people or you're Utsav's people. You decide now.
Listen, I lived in Bombay for 10 years before I moved to Bangalore. But the moment you can go from Andheri East to Andheri West in 10 minutes, you bloody well take the metro.
Well done. Superb. Great point. Absolutely spot on. Yes.
I'm in Kandivali. So every night now they're testing the metro. Okay. And they drive it really slowly. So I can see it going. And all the rickshaw walas are pointing and Madam, dekh, wo dar rahe hai. Just shut up.
When it comes to engineering experience and expertise, you can't beat the rickshaw wala.
You can't beat them.
Yeah, when it comes to fear, nobody can beat the rickshaw wala. They have no fear. They'll go anywhere. Like gaps and all wise.
It may hurt their pockets a little bit because obviously there'll be routes that you can take where the rickshaw you were taking possibly. Although, of course, they'll connect a lot of people only with rickshaws from one station to another. But I don't know. Let's see who gets affected. We'll find out. But when will it open up? November 2023, they're saying. Let's see.
What? They told me it was going to be up and running in about 6 months max.
No. What they put in the papers.
I mean, it keeps getting postponed in India. It's not a new thing. Even the initial metro got so postponed.
The Worli ceiling, Bandra Worli ceiling was supposed to come up in 1948, 1 year after independence. It took them a long time to find out. This is a true story. It took 4 years to find the chief guest of the right merit to open it. It was ready and they wouldn't do it because they couldn't figure out who ye chief guest kaun hai. Kisko bhav dena padega isme? Because that's a big question actually when you think about it. Politics. Why would anybody join? Every decision you make is wrong.
I came to South Bombay the other day. The sea has vanished. That coastal road, I thought it was going to be a small road. What is happening?
We live. You have no idea. We live now like Spider-Man. You're driving up onto a wall, then up onto another wall, then this yellow bloody metallic
It's a
wall, and all that.
massive, it's a massive construction going on, yeah.
People are living. The extra family members stay in the holes in this road because there's so many holes. It's not. It's not. It's just horrible. It's just eyesore after eyesore. I want to move out of South Mumbai. Where Finland? You have any contact? I'll carry my wife and go there.
Yeah,
I
we'll
have
find someone,
contacts.
Cyrus. Whatever,
The
yes.
way she's training, she'll
Oh,
carry
sure.
me. Is that allowed? Kajol, are you allowed to swap the spouse, like the wife carry the husband?
No, but though in Finland everyone is so fit that it could probably happen. But yeah, no. You can carry a woman who's not your wife. You can carry your neighbor's wife, but you can't. The man has to be the one running.
This is getting to be a much more fun game now. I'm like, I will go with her. At least all the Indian men, dirty men going, oh, Sharmaji, don't mind.
Another interesting thing about Finland. Sorry, I know a lot about it. When my friend married this Finnish guy, you have a choice in Finland. You can either take his last name, you can take her last name, or you can both invent a last name which you all both want to use.
Oh, wow.
So there's no finish
that's
in
good.
that sense. You can do what you want.
Yes, Cyrus, exactly.
Sure. All right.
So what did she
Uh,
take? Sorry,
They took
last.
his last. They took his last name
Why?
because, well, I guess she didn't want no one to pronounce her last name in Finland.
India wins again. Again, there's logic. See, we Indians have logic. It's always logical. It's nothing about this whole concept of freedom. Sorry, sir. Next, Bolo.
Yeah, Abraham Umen has asked, I just turned 40 yesterday. Also came to know that I am diabetic. Any advice, Dr. Cyrus?
Well, if you're an Abraham Uman, so I presume you're Malayali. I presume you're possibly Christian. So I presume you're non-vegetarian. So my point is, you shouldn't be for the non-veg hardcore guy. It's really not that bad because you give up a lot of carbs. You have to give up sugar, but you eat all your meats and eggs. So you should be okay. And if you like salads with that, that becomes like the carb. In a sense, the Indian diet of mixing things up. But also, there's a lovely pill called Europa out there which you can take, and it works on most people, not all. But it immediately keeps the sugar in check. So occasionally do that, and you can eat your paratha, whatever you want, sugars, ice cream, whatever you want at that point. So Dr.
But
Cyrus
consult
will
your
save you
doctor.
lots of money. Consult me offline, and let's go to Finland together and start a clinic. Those guys we can fool because we don't even know if they believe us or not. Right? It's the same reaction, sir.
Yeah.
Are you telling the truth? Yes, no, whatever. Nobody. Interrogation in Finland, Silverie. That's going to be
Yeah.
the wow. You'll never be able to get
That's
the right
true. Yeah.
answer because nobody
Cops can't
knows.
interrogate you. Correct. Yeah.
How do they say "I love you"?
In Finland, in Finnish,
No, like the emotions. How would they say that?
you know
Deadpan,
what?
yeah.
The deadpan.
Yeah. What do you think the orgasm is like? I mean, is that
Deadpan
I
orgasm.
did ask.
Oh, that's so bad.
how do they finish in a sense?
Oh dear God.
Okay, that was not necessary. I'm so sorry.
Okay. All right. Next one.
Shall we?
Info
Disclaimer:
short.
Cyrus is not a real doctor. A real doctor is not
Yeah.
a real doctor. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Utsav,
right.
would you like to
Info
talk about
shots.
diabetes?
No, let's just move to the next question. I think enough medical advice.
But
And
yeah.
if it has been dispensed already.
Yeah, but please do consult your actual doctor, and Dr. Cyrus can be a second opinion if you want.
No, but why again? I don't
otherwise-
want to start fights between veg and non-veg. But we were going to the food groups and chatting with my doc the other day, and the whole thing is that it really is a lot easier for the non-veg guy because you're not sacrificing as much, and very often you're anyway trying to lower carbs as you go older because of fat, blah 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 blah. And sugars, come on, bro. In any culture, sugar is not good. No culture says sugar is good for you. It's just that we are raised to have it, and occasionally, if you do sample it, you're okay. So the veg cuisine, as good as it is in India, is loaded with carbs. I mean, just look at any part of India; it's almost impossible. So if you're hardcore veg, you're really struggling because your go-to foods are going. So we are still retaining, kebabs, this, that, and the other. Lots of things you can retain, steak, whatever. But veg guys, hardcore food that you grew up on, sorry. So in Uttar Pradesh, where they're promoting vegetarianism, if you're diabetic, you may have to move out and come back to Mumbai, which is how the fighting in the 60s started between North Indians and Maharashtrians, and long may that continue. As is the case. The panel refuses to endorse my puerile views, so we'll move on to the next question.
Okay, cool. Ruben David has asked, if voted to power, what would Brocha Janata Party do vis-a-vis buying oil from Russia?
Actually, I'm quite a political animal, so that's why I understand. I empathize. That's the right word with the point of trying to keep your foot in each camp. Okay, the Switzerland approach, if you like, but not Switzerland actually, but the way we do it, which is, there's a skill to it. If you look at it from a non-judgmental point of view, there's a skill to it. On the other hand, it also shows a little cravenness that you're not willing to put your chest out and stand up for what you believe in. That's also very clear. So I don't know. I think if the end justifies the means, if we follow Machiavelli or Kautilya Chanakya, who said it before him, as we all know as students of world programs, I think if you think country comes first, then it's not completely wrong in thinking. But if you think humanity comes first and you're a person of the world as you should be today, well, then I think what Russia did is just not correct. Cannot be totally justified. Although they did support Nazism in their bid to segregate themselves away from the Soviet Union back in the day. There's no question about that.
No.
Not that he should allude to that, because it's not like it's a huge movement of Nazis going crazy with a Jewish president and Jewish prime minister. However,
Yeah, that's true.
that point in World War II is there. You can see that. You can check the records that they did support. And they worked as concentration camp guards, and there's some atrocities under their name. But that's
Oh,
a
wow.
story for
Okay,
another
I
time.
didn't
Let's
know
move on, children.
Okay.
Well, let's ask
so-
the panel. Utsav, what would you do? Kajol, what would you do vis-a-vis the same situation? Should we continue to trade with oil? It's huge for us. It keeps us from going to a major dip.
Say you are a member of the Brocha Janata Party,
You're the
and
you're the
we win
boss.
the election. Yeah. So yeah,
So see,
that's-
since the Brocha Janata Party is anyways going to be a cult, right? And you just simply follow what the cult leader does, right? So if the cult leader says, we continue.
Bro, you're doing an Indian thing. You're deflecting the blow as usual, huh?
No, I'm just using your shoulder and firing the gun. I'm not deflecting the blow.
So should we trade or not trade if Utsav is the prime minister, the main
Oh
guy?
yeah, we should continue trading. Yeah, absolutely.
So you're not taking a stand against Russia's immoral act.
I am taking a stand against the fact that our debt is already going to spiral out of control. We can't
So
afford to have
country
more debt.
first, country over humanity in that sense. Kajol?
I would say buy the oil from Russia.
Wow, that's both are well. Kajol is left, and Utsav is left of center slightly, I would think.
Yeah.
Okay, if they've
I will say
agreed, then
don't buy oil, sell oil back to Russia, so get their money also.
okay,
But
you're
from where are
drunk.
we going to get this oil?
Goa.
Why are you taking this conversation forward? When I say stupid things, you'll make fun of me and move on.
Yeah.
Why are you entertaining him? The phone call. Go back to the phone
Because
call.
with
Sorry.
Antariksh, there is a hope that there's going to be a
Yeah,
sensible
true,
point at
true,
the end of
true.
it. So come on,
I buy
fellas,
that.
you have to
I
give
buy
it
that. He's still
Okay,
young.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe.
Okay, next.
All right. Info Shots has asked for Utsav. He says, Utsav, do you think we Indians are obsessed with only English-speaking countries when it comes to overseas travel and don't pay hate to other countries which are often cheap and beautiful?
I love you, info shots. I don't know you who you are, but I already love you. Yes, we are obsessed with the West. We are obsessed with going to fancy, sanitized places, which by the way will have some 400-year-old culture. And we'll be like, oh my god, this culture is so old. You have the whole of Asia to travel, right? It is incredibly cheap. It is incredibly amazing food, very nice people, beautiful places to see. And most importantly, they are cheap places to go. Please never forget, being cheap is the most important thing in the world. You have to save money. And I completely agree. I would much rather go to Tajikistan rather than go to maybe Tirana in Albania. So yeah, that's my view.
But I heard Tajikistan, I don't know if I like the food. I heard the food is a little bland. That's a touchy area for me. The Central Asian republics, the food tends to be bland. Like they don't do much
I
with
mean,
it.
France and all also is bland only, no? Food.
Yeah.
No.
Western
France has
Basically
everything.
butter.
France and China has everything. Whatever you want. From the
China-
most
No,
spicy-
China has everything. I
I-
agree with that.
China, yes. Yeah.
No, the way the food is
For
made, I'm
sure.
saying also, not just what they eat. We won't get into that.
I mean, yeah,
ordered
then
Indian
France has
food.
Indian cuisine and that
Kajol,
will have the
France
spices.
is
but
France,
French cuisine,
France,
is
India,
it
China.
bland?
There's no
France is
problem with the
lovely,
kind of.
but
Yeah.
I ordered Arabian food the other day. It was
Mhm.
nice, but that level of blandness, I don't know what to do with.
True, that's what I'm saying. Not to be
You
racist
can't
about
do
these things,
anything with it.
but in a certain country or culture, you're eating for 10 days, okay? You're not eating for 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
So then on day 3, day 4, you start getting exposed because our palates are so sophisticated. We are spoiled. So
Yeah,
then
that's
I worry. I like my Thailand only because I know I can eat the curries every day. There are 3 or 4 of them I
Thailand
can
is
keep
gorgeous.
changing.
Thailand
I
is
can
just
stay there for
lovely, that
years.
food. Yeah.
Really.
Southeast Asia in general, food pretty much great everywhere.
Superb. And you mentioned hospitality. Who treats you better? You go to Thailand, you come back thinking you really are a VIP till you reach Bombay. And the guy says, where are you from? And then everything changes, that intimate moment.
Arpit Bansal has a very funny comment. He says China has everything. Is the reason why we have been in the lockdown. They do, yeah.
And they've got cases again after 2 years.
Again, yeah, they're rising.
Yeah.
Correct. Captain Day has another question for Utsav. It's kind of like a follow-up question. He says, which is the most COVID-friendly, COVID travel-friendly destination now, Utsav, if you are aware?
Serbia. Djokovic says, come. Don't worry about anything, bro. Just come with your racket. We play, bro.
So right now, the most COVID-friendly destination would probably be Vietnam, for the simple reason that it was one country which actually managed to avoid the entire COVID crisis to a very large degree, right? For whatever reason, I don't know what the reasons are, and it's a beautiful country.
Maybe
God
said they suffered enough for many years in the 60s with the ridiculous war, so said, okay, we'll give them a break on this one.
Yeah, and the country has pretty much everything you want, right? We want to go to the mountains. You want to go to the by the water. The great food, coffee is amazing. Vietnamese coffee is just one of the best things you can have. So absolutely, Vietnam would be my top pick right now if you have to go. If you just want an easier visa,
how much would it cost? Always in like, if you can give a vague rate for a week in Vietnam.
Yeah, sure.
Minus the travel, minus the plane.
So if you just do budget, you can probably go and buy on $50 a day. So $500, so that's about 40,000 rupees.
With food.
Right? With food, you have to live frugally, Cyrus. I'm not from South Bombay, so I subscribe to lower standards of everything.
It's not touchy subject ho gaya, sir. You go to Vietnam. Us South Mumbaikars, we only go to London, Paris. And we don't know what to do after day 3. Like
Cyrus, when you travel, do you just only stay at fancy hotels, or do you like slum it?
If I had a choice, I would like to stay only at fancy hotels. I hate slumming it. Okay, but my wife is a leftist. Rishi Valley, you mentioned, she's from there. So sometimes we've stayed in terrible places. Luckily, we also traveled mostly with Kunal, who just cannot. Level of comfort is his biopic. I mean, it's called Kunal Level of Comfort. I mean, he used to call his lady. I don't like to use the word maid. His lady used to work in the house and tell her to put the AC on. I'm talking about 90s, guys. AC on when leaving Nariman Point. So 20-minute drive to Beach Candy to his house. So the room is cold when he enters, and he's not a millionaire, Kajol. He's not a millionaire because you're a millionaire in your mind. It's not about how much money you actually have. It's ridiculous. That's largest,
In my
people say
family,
Garib Desh, see how some Indians live. There is nobody in the West with all their money who can live the extravagance of an Indian. Sometimes.
Kajol, did you have that lunch with Kunal that you had asked Cyrus for last time?
Cyrus has not conveyed my.
He went to Goa. He went to Goa for some shooting something and all that. Kajol, I'll make it happen. I promise. I mean, honestly, he'll be over eager, and I think he might have a heart attack or something. I have to be careful. Because no girl has actually the closest in 1978. He got a maybe from one elderly lady when he asked her out. But that's it. The record has been horrible. Really, there's nothing to talk about. So what you saying? You're happy to go for lunch? I mean, he won't believe it. He'll think it's a prank.
Why? Yeah.
Because I told you the record has not been good.
No.
And the worst part is when we used to get drunk. We used to change personality. I had become sweeter and he'd become a little more obnoxious. So it didn't work either. C'est la vie, as we say in Vietnam, via Paris, because, we have to go to both. Yeah. No, but I totally get your point. I love Southeast Asia. I completely think it's value for money. And there's lots to see and understand culturally. Like you said, it's so rich. People don't even know. I mean, the trade with India, the ties with India. I mean, firstly, the whole Asian continent comes alive. But I want to go to Mongolia. Is Mongolia going to be expensive?
No, not at all.
But also as a homeboy, maybe I'll get a discount. Because I'm a direct descendant of Persian. Chingis. We pronounce it with the ch, not with the j. Okay.
We also pronounce a lot of other things with ch, but
that also. That's why the two go together. The two ch's go together. Chingis, you. That's right.
Cyrus, I think your geography is worse than we initially thought. You are not from that part of the world.
You don't have to be. He ransacked Iran completely. He left nothing alive in Tehran. Nothing.
Okay.
Kyiv, the slaughter of Kyiv, whatever Putin is doing, nothing compared to what his people did many, many years ago.
I know that he's fathered a lot of kids, and we all.
He came all the way up to Lahore. Lahore, he came, and then he modern Lahore, and he said, "Okay, I don't want to go any further." They say that there was some commonality with Indian people, and he didn't want to subjugate them. Other people say he just found it hot. I don't know which side you're on. You take your time to decide, but We come from like a Siberian climate, and then you suddenly cross into one of our summers. Can you imagine how many conquerors turned back? Really, I mean, the guys, Alexander's guys were like, boss, bahut ho gaya yaar. Nahi
Yeah.
rukega. No more budget holidays in India. Then, next, sorry,
Okay.
seven.
Okay, last two questions. I'll ask them together because they're kind of related. The first one comes in from Shavik Bakchi, and the second one comes in from Arpit Bansal.
Shauvik's our star,
question-
by the way. He's like
Absolutely,
a teacher
yeah.
who's correcting papers. He's throughout the show on point. We should
Yeah,
send him a
always
special
great
prize.
jokes.
Let's give him a
We should.
panelist. Shreyas.
We'll give him shots. Done.
With one dolphin
Yeah,
free.
sure. Correct. So, Shauvik's question is, Aisha went to the building meeting. My building secretary and president take themselves very seriously as if they hold influential positions in the government. I find it hilarious. Views.
I touch
And
his
second
feet.
part of the
Shauvik,
question.
yeah.
Second part of the question is, speaking of building meetings, has Cyrus ever stood in the building elections? And what will be the top agenda points for Cyrus if he does?
I can't bear those meetings, and I would never stand. It's just another waste of time. There's too much live sport in the evening to waste time when you're free to go to these meetings. But there are people who are really, they validate themselves by these positions and all, like you mentioned. So let them go and do it, because they are more enthusiastic. They care about it. So I guess let them do it. But yeah, they take it so seriously. Just look at the building WhatsApp forwards that have been going on, Baba. Honestly, it's like running the economy. It's like Ukraine's problems are much less in our buildings because termites are there on the second floor, for which now everyone should come for a meeting and discuss what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a problem, but I
And
just
there are proper
sometimes
politics also. In the society office, there are proper politics that actually happen, and people hate each other and don't listen to like one specific house, flat, or something. And
Silverie,
they
at
give
one
more
point,
weightage to opinions of another person.
all
It's
these
the whole thing.
millionaires who live in the building are fighting over getting rid of one watchman who's done no wrong except falling asleep at 3 in the friggin'
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, it's
does
just
happen.
not a national job. I mean, what do you want him to do for 2,000, 3,000 bucks a month at 3:34 in the morning, and they do double shifts? Nobody took a humane view. They were all like, "Oh, we'll get robbed. Who'll rob you? Nobody cares about
Who will
you. You
rob
got
you?
your door
Yeah.
shut. As if that one watchman is going to stop someone who really wants to rob. I mean, really.
Yeah.
So I've lost interest.
Right.
This is not for me. And they have no
What about
sense
you
of
guys,
humor.
Kajol and Utsav? What do you guys think?
Kajol
of
is the
buildings
president
and
of a
building
building
No, I'm not.
and the
I
metro
also,
outside.
I always avoid these things, but then they opened the steam room in my gym, and
Ah.
when I went there the first time, I found myself in the steam room with the society secretary, so I stopped going.
Male or female? Male or female?
Oh, you poor thing. Oh, God.
Was she? No. So not like Finland, where they would be in their finery.
Okay, no, Cyrus, we were not even going to that part. We were going to the part that I don't really like her.
Sauna,
Okay.
you're supposed to be naked, Baba, or very little apparel because you
In
want to
India,
sweat.
no. In
But-
India,
but
please, in
i-
India, we don't
India,
do that.
no.
We
Especially
wear
building
towels.
where you want it. Your building
And
where you want.
especially,
I
yes,
don't
in building, so
Yeah.
Then what's the point of the
don't
steam
go to
room?
pool.
Just go in the lift up and down with the fan off. What's the point of the steam room?
You can go in
Because
your
it's-
like boxers or underwear if you're a dude, and like whatever
Women wear towels.
corresponding
okay.
underwear. Women wear towels. Huh, sure.
Women wear
Covering
towels.
everything?
Yes, Cyrus.
Oh, yes, Cyrus. What do you think, Cyrus?
We have a pool in my building. We
If
have a
I'm
pool
going to
in my
join the
building.
building election thing and all, these are very important points now. They're very clear.
We have a pool in my
Suddenly, my
building.
interest in the building has gone up a little bit. Yeah.
We have a pool in my building. Okay, and the
You have a
problem
pool
is
in
that
your-
they've
So basically,
Yeah.
Kandivali is Malwa Hill, and this garbage dump where I live in is okay. I would say.
Thakur village
I mean,
is a
Cyrus,
posh
what are you
area
still
of
doing
London.
downside? Yeah, what are you still doing
She's
downside? You
right.
should be moved.
We are the most underdeveloped part of Bombay. There's nothing here. We
I'm
don't
going
have
to
a
finish
cinema.
my sentence.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this new societies now, they put the pool and then they surround it with all the buildings. All right. So there's no freaking way you can wear a swimming costume even and get into the pool because everybody after 5
Can
o'clock
see
is
you.
drinking tea. Outside.
It's amazing how when a female is swimming, everybody's looking out, and when an old man is swimming, nobody's looking out. How that happens, I don't know. WhatsApp forward. It's Nisha. Meanwhile, Utsav, ye kahan aa gaya main?
No, I actually want to say something. I am very happy when the building uncles get involved in all this कि ये सफाई ठीक से नहीं हो रहा है, because then they stop bothering young people. कौन किसके घर आ रहा है, कितने बजे जा रहा है, ये इसके घर पे क्यों आ
That
रहा
was
है.
also a
Let them
thing, yeah.
please be involved in all these things. I am very happy. Let other people live their lives. I think old people need a distraction. I'm being very ageist here right now, but I think once they have done and achieved everything professionally, they need
No, you're
something to
right.
pass their time.
It's not elitist. You're right.
I mean,
The whole
that's why
point
we
of
have
it-
this podcast also, right? Let's face it, right? I mean, that's how
Yeah,
it
for me
works.
to have something to do. Yes. fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, correct.
As you said, cheer for Chinggis, cheer for.
Yeah. Okay, and the last, we can end with this comment. Prithvi says, Kajol should be the PM candidate for Bharatiya Janata Party, which is so funny.
Kajol, would you accept the
I be
position?
allowed?
Why?
I mean, yeah, this is
Bharatiya Janata Party is a party name. I'm not the king of the party. That's just a name. So you would be the
so you're
elected
PM
leader,
candidate, but
Wait.
Cyrus is
So,
like Sonia Gandhi. Cyrus is like Sonia Gandhi
so
character.
what would
but then
you
we
have
have no
me bear?
power because no one's winning. So
What
just
Yeah,
would you
that's
have me
true.
bear? What would you have me bear? Like, what should be my
Where?
outfit? Yeah.
You think I come from a culture where I can tell a woman what to do? Have you not met my family members? My daughter nearly slapped me and she's 15. You have no idea. You're talking to the wrong repressed soul. Talk to Utsav. He is a very dominant man with the females.
Kajol, what should Cyrus wear? I think that's a better question. As the president of his party.
I don't know. I think, Cyrus, you want to go for an orthodox kind of a feel, or you want to go for, this very
I'm a
progressive?
practical guy. Baba, it's too hot. The bloody British came here, they wore shorts and made us wear pants. This is one of the big, thick crimes they committed. Nobody talks about that. Please, less is more for me. It's too hot. It's just too hot. And now it's become really hot again, guys. Please, let's not wear too many. Look at Zelensky. He's in a t-shirt. He's in the middle of a freaking war. People are dying left and center. But I love that. Finally, a statesman you can relate to because he looks like that guy in your club who's not got a job for the last week.
So one of the British MPs, I think, said that how dare he not wear a suit? At least he should wear a suit to brief the media. People are like,
I mean,
excuse me, there's a war going
dude,
on.
Yeah, there's a
Which,
war
by the
going
way,
That's
on.
the least.
He's
Now,
still
Utsav,
there in his country.
reminds me of this anecdote with Mahatma Gandhi when he was going to meet the king, and the king said that one of the reporters asked that why are you not wearing any clothes, and he said the king is wearing enough for both of us. So it's just
correct.
one of those
Yeah,
things.
Funny.
yeah,
Very funny.
yeah.
Nice.
I mean, really, for someone to think that that's on Zelensky's mind, should I wear a suit? Really? People are dying left, right, and center. No one's helping.
Yeah, because
But
unlike a certain world leader, he's not concerned about his PR, right? So I think that's why he's not so bothered about what he's wearing.
yeah, but he's getting
Say it
support from
now.
every.
Say it. Unlike Modi.
He's-
Always say it.
Yeah.
We're not
But-
North Korea yet. Say it.
But Kajol, not to take our leader's side, but that's all leaders. They spin everything.
Yeah,
the
they are a
spin,
little
the
bit.
spin
Yeah,
is
exactly.
all about how they look in public. I mean, from
Yeah,
Kim
but
Jong Un downwards.
our guy likes dressing up, which is fine. I don't have anything against that. One thing I found very weird, which happened, was that Biden called all the TikTokers, okay, TikTok stars, to brief them about the Ukraine war so that they could make TikTok videos for the world. And that's when I realized that I'm okay if Putin bombs the world, I think it's time to go. We just become too stupid.
Oh, that's where
Okay,
we are. Yeah.
just push the button.
I'm wondering if Biden was explained about TikTok 5 minutes before the conference. Literally, he's one of
Kajol,
the
you're
most
saying a good thing that TikTok got banned in India. That's what you're saying.
See, right now I'm at a state where everyone is famous. Okay, have you noticed? Everyone is just
Yeah.
famous. I was
Everyone is
reviewing
famous.
Lockup for my podcast last week, and I had to watch
Okay, nice.
Lockup
Oh
on
God,
MX
I can't
Player.
even imagine. Yeah.
And we've just reached a point of ultra stupidity.
Hmm.
It can't go worse than this. It is time to end it, folks. COVID tried, it gave up. Now Putin is trying. Let's just help him.
So,
Okay?
Kajol, I just want to put in perspective today's program where you basically mentioned that we should continue with buying oil from Russia, that Putin should continue bombing everybody else. And all the left leaning has gone out of the window in the course of this one. I'm a little worried now that we've converted you into one of us.
I'm just appalled at the kind of stupidity that is around the place.
That is
Don't you find
popular.
it too stupid? Yeah, that is popular.
The stupidity becoming popular is the irony of the whole thing.
Yes.
But this
yes.
coming from me, I mean, really, honestly, shouldn't say that. Not that I'm popular, but yeah, but
No,
stupidity.
You've not reached anywhere close to the bottom of that barrel, Cyrus. The Instagram reels and the TikTok stuff
Thanks,
that go
Kajol.
viral.
I mean, it's not for lack of trying, Cyrus. I also want to sort of
Not
add
for-
that to the
not-
point.
not for
lack
ability.
of trying.
Not for
You
ability
do
and
it
lack of
every
trying.
5 days in a week, right? But then you somehow still not.
Heart
be
was
able
in
to
the
reach
right
that
place,
level.
Utsav, just not getting the commemorable medal that I should get, unfortunately. Yeah. So TikTok, true. And it's amazing also with TikTok, if you're not part of the TikTok movement, someone has to tell you who the famous person is. You know, when you're looking at people and
Oh,
you know
this
who they
person
are.
is this famous.
Yeah,
This person
yeah.
who's
And for these views, and this is what made them. I'm like, really? But then okay.
and the worst part is when you meet one of these Instagrammers / TikTokers who expect you to recognize them, and you don't, because everyone has 1 million and plus views these days. And forget them. There are also very esteemed gurus with beards who are saving the earth by going on long motorcycle rides.
You're talking about one guru then.
Oh,
There
I thought
are-
talking about. Oh yeah.
You threw me again with many gurus.
Kajol, I
I'm
thought we
thinking,
are not North Korea yet.
yeah.
We're not
But now
North
it's
Korea.
clearly,
Okay.
you mentioned
I
motorcycle
was-
and saving the soil. Go
I
on.
have said it on my Twitter. Okay, I when it's coming to me,
That's true.
I have no fear. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it right now because Antariksh will get little like.
No, we want him on the podcast.
I mean, it's fine.
I
Yeah.
was very close to doing an event with him in Nepal. Unfortunately, he got angry after a golf tournament and didn't turn up or something. But because he loves his golf. But I wanted him on the
Really?
podcast. Joe Rogan had him. Why can't we? Kajol, would you come on that podcast? You can be open.
I would come.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Will you
Market
muzzle
voice.
me? Will I have to sit with a muzzle on, or
No, you can
Don't
talk.
be
You
insulting,
can
but you
ask.
can definitely ask your questions.
Yeah, you can ask difficult questions even.
The
if needed.
insulting thing where
of
you're just abusing
Sadhguru,
someone, that we don't want. But other than
I don't
that,
do that.
yes, you're differing in opinion, or you want to accuse people of certain things. That's fine. It's a free forum. If you're not seen again, that's also
That's not on us. Yeah.
You know what? I'm okay. If I'm not seen again, I'm not seen again. Go out with in a
We
blaze
will
of
keep an
glory.
empty frame for you for the next 20 episodes. So she'll be famous, Silverie. That she
Nice.
finds funny.
Good one.
I'm leaving the program.
All
That's
right.
terrible. Okay. All right, guys. Time to eat dinner. Bye,
Yes,
Utsav.
sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
Kajol.
Bye.